Hola,
Okay.
Mina.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome. Happy Census Day.
Yes, happy Census Day to everybody. Hopefully people are completing their questionnaires.
Yeah, exactly. And they can submit their confirmation number to our hotline with Jessica and get the last gift certificates we have to distribute today. We have, so it's such an honor to be with you here. And we are starting our census month, and your organization, Mina and Loera Centro Latino, is one of our ambassadors. And we are curious. We are not curious because I already know, but I want for you to share what's the Centro Latino about and the good work you do in the community.
Well, great. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm going to be speaking in English, but I also want to send this message in Spanish because I'm a firm believer that everybody needs to be included. So the Diaz and Loera Centro Latino is a nonprofit organization. We've been a nonprofit for 2 years. Prior to that, it was just something that my sisters and I thought of, and we were running it from our own pockets and a couple of friends that would donate. And basically what we do is we are determined to help people become self-sufficient and know their rights and understand what resources are out there for them, regardless of their immigration status, regardless of what language they speak. We're the only Centro in Solano County that focuses on this group of population. So we have naturalization clinics, immigration workshops. Every other month, I take attorneys to the Centro who complete applications for clients, and it's free. All that we do is free at the Centro. We also do workshops with the police department. We formed a program for the Vallejo City Unified School District. It's called Ser Latino, which is Service Education Resources. And we help kids that are English learners that have just arrived in the country to be able to have the same opportunity as all the other kids by taking them to colleges and universities. So do you want me to say this in Spanish too, real quick, or? Okay. El Diaz y Loera Centro Latino es una organización no lucrativa. Estamos en existencia desde hace varios años, pero tenemos 2 años que sí es una agencia no lucrativa. Nuestra meta es de que las personas tengan acceso a recursos a los cuales tienen derechos y también sepan sus derechos que tiene el país. Nosotros trabajamos con muchas diferentes organizaciones para llevarles a ellos los servicios que les benefician. Incluidos está el Departamento de Policía, está también abogados que van al centro y dan las consultas y ayudan a llenar los documentos gratuitos. Y un programa que empezamos en el Distrito Escolar de Vallejo que se llama Ser Latino. Trabajamos mucho con los niños que acaban de llegar de otros países que no hablan inglés, porque nuestra meta es de que tengan la misma oportunidad de navegar el sistema educativo para que salgan adelante igual que todos los otros niños, porque tienen ese derecho.
So I think that's amazing, the work you do. And tell us a little bit about what have you been learning with our communities in response to the COVID-19. What changed the communities and how they're impacted, but also how some examples of resilience.
Right. I agree with most people that have been on this show in the fact that we are united. There's a lot of help. There's a lot of people that care and want to help each other. But one thing that I also learned, and I have to say this because it's truth, running an organization that is with immigrants and undocumented, there is a lot of you and us. So there's a lot of folks that, for whatever reason, feel that anybody that's undocumented is less than human and shouldn't be receiving certain benefits. That really saddens me, because if people understand that we're all in this together, if you exclude certain groups of people, whether it be immigrant, by color, by race, by language, what you are doing is doing a disservice to everybody, because everybody runs the chance of getting sick. Everybody at some point, their children will be back in school. You'll be working with people that are undocumented, legal or not legal. So you will be in contact with other folks. So why not have everybody be able to have the tests, to determine if they're sick, the medical care, so that, if they are sick, they can get better and not, be contagious to anybody else. That's one of the things that I've seen. A lot of people have been left out. This stimulus plan that we have, it's great. There's going to be a lot of benefits, some money's coming to different pockets, but at the same time, it leaves out citizen children of undocumented parents, which to me doesn't make sense, because a citizen is a citizen, regardless of what your parents are or come from. So that makes me very sad. I've seen, some folks that post things that are very hurtful at times. So I keep telling everyone, just stay positive, keep uniting, keep helping each other. The Centro has taken it upon themselves to translate information that's being put out from the city and the county of Solano, because there's not a lot of information that's translated, and not just into Spanish, because I'm not just speaking about Spanish immigrants or Spanish speaking undocumented people. There's a lot of Filipino that speak Tagalog. There's a lot of other communities that are not getting the information. So I would like to see a little bit more of money set aside, perhaps when there's the next meeting that city council or the city or the county has, to set a certain amount of money aside for either headsets or some sort of translation services, translators, or just somebody that can put the translation service information out in print. Because in reality, we are all affected. We all get lifted, or we're all going to fall.
You're so right. And that's a great segue to talk a little bit about the importance of the census, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we know that if we are not counting, it's like we are not here, right?
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your perspective about the census, and then what would you like to share with everybody about the importance of participating in the census, especially our Latino community,
Mm-hmm.
right? No matter what status,
Right.
immigration status.
Right. I can't emphasize enough how important the census is. I've done 2 videos in English and Spanish talking about the census. A lot of people get confused and they're thinking, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm only going to complete it halfway. No, it's important that people, 1, complete it, 2, complete it thoroughly, understanding that the money that is given to different states, counties, and cities is based off of the census information. So if you don't complete it, it's like when you don't vote in an election, your vote doesn't count. You don't exist. So why are you going to complain later? Well, it's the same thing with the census. If you're not counted, you don't exist. So if they don't know that there's X amount of Latinos, X amount of African Americans, Filipinos, Caucasians, they're not going to know. And one of the things that I saw is that, and I think I've read this here somewhere in the information that you guys gave us, is that 6.5% of African American and Latino children were overlooked in the 2010 census. That's very important. I mean, you cannot have a number that's accurate if that percentage of Latino and African American kids were not counted. That's the first problem I see. The second problem I also see is that, and I want people to know, is that when you don't complete the census, for every person that's not counted, we're looking at about $20,000 over 10 years that is not going to be allocated for new hospitals and schools and I don't know, the Medi-Cal, childcare, all those good things that we all at some point use, or if we don't, our family members do. I heard a gentleman say the other day, well, I don't really care. I don't have kids in school. I don't sugarcoat anything, Erica. And basically, I just want to say, care. Care about those kids that are in school, even though you don't have any. Care about the immigrants, even though you were born and raised here. Care about other communities of color, even though you don't associate yourself with them or don't know anything about them. Care, because in the long run, it affects us all. If money does not reach our county and money does not reach our cities, what's going to happen is we're going to trail behind. And one of the things that I saw during this COVID-19 pandemic is Solano County does not have a lot of money. And the resources that they have are already destined to certain things. So we are not really prepared for this. There's no money. So let's start preparing in advance, for the next time, the next census, while we get some more money coming in, utilize it for many different things that are needed. But for every person that's not counted, I just told you it's about $20,000 that we won't be receiving in an estimated of 10 years. The other thing too is that if a person is pregnant and is having that child as of today, or newborns, children under 5, I'm a first 5 commissioner, so to me, children under 5 is just something that hits home. I have a grandson that's 5 years old, so I want to see things put in place for future generations. If we're on our way out or not, we need to leave a city, a country, a planet for kids to be able to live, thrive, and feel safe. So when you don't count a child, he won't be counted for 10 years. Could you imagine a newborn not even existing for 10 years? So those are the things that I want people to understand. Also, you can go on the census website, and I'm also going to post a lot of these little handy dandy guides that I got from you guys from Solano Kids Count, where it specifies a lot of these questions that I'm addressing, and it tells you, who needs to be counted, if you're sharing custody of a child, if you've got some, your grandkids living with you, do you count them? Does the parents count them? We need to make sure that where every person is at, they get counted, and they get counted properly, because we will not see the benefits that we need if we don't get counted. And it's very simple. This year, you could even do it online. There's a phone number for people to call. I'm going to use my my little example here. This is the one that I received. There is a number on here that when you go online, you enter that number, your address automatically populates, and then you're going to answer questions of everybody that lives with you. Age, name, gender, ethnic origin, race, stuff that you should know, and you enter it, and then you're done. It only takes about 10 minutes. It could take a little bit longer if you're not computer savvy, or if you've got a lot of people living in the home. But other than that, it doesn't take long, and there's a lot of help. We cannot complete them for you, but we can guide you to the phone number where they can help you, or we could even, for folks that are not being able to get through to those numbers, because there's a waiting period sometimes. There's a lot of people calling right now. We could also help through the Centro Latino via phone, or having a conference call like this. There's many, many ways that we can help each other. The workshops that we had at the Centro all along were in person, which makes things so much easier for people to ask questions and know. We've had to adjust like everybody else. It's not the end of the world. We will get through this. We just have to be creative in how to help each other, and continue to refer people to agencies that can help them. I will be posting today a list of resources that are out there. I spent my morning on the phone on a conference call with Congressman Thompson, and I think there was about 12, 13 other nonprofits, and from Sonoma, Napa, and Solano. And he was reaching out to us because he wanted to know what our needs were, what calls we were receiving, what people were needing. So we were able to tell him, what each of us is dealing with. And I'll tell you one thing, it's not very different. Humans have basic needs. Elderly might need a little extra stuff because they're not able to leave home. So, they need to be reached out in one way. Children need to be reached out in another. But in reality, we all have the same basic needs. So reach out, and help each other. The census is important. If you have family members that haven't completed them, don't just wait for us. If you've already completed yours, hey, you're a specialist. You're able to do it. You can reach out and help them as well.
Thank you. That's a lot of
I know.
information. Oh, Lorraine. Oh, Lorraine, no. I'm mixing now. Jamila,
Who?
go.
Lorraine. Mina, you said something. You said something about lifting each other up. What did you say? Because that was good.
Let me see if I can remember, Jamila. Hi, I've heard a lot about you. You're doing some good things, girl. I'm
Thank
very,
you.
very proud to live in the same city that you do. It
Oh,
takes all of us.
thank you. I heard about you too, running for city council, right?
I announced I'm going to be running. Let's see what happens. It's
Okay.
going to be interesting to run a campaign right now with nobody being able to walk and knock on
That's
That's
doors.
true.
right.
What I said, I think, was we either all lift each other up or we're all going to fall
Oh,
together.
damn. That's what it
There's
was.
no way
Say in
around.
Spanish. Say in Spanish.
O todos nos levantamos juntos o todos vamos a caer. And I just want to briefly, I'm not going to say everything I said in English because I'm a talker. I think everybody knows that. But I just want to address folks in Spanish just real quick. En el Centro Latino voy a estar poniendo información de lo que estamos hablando ahorita. Tuvimos juntas hoy con el congresista Thompson, hay muchos recursos, estamos muy bien enterados de que hay recursos de que no están llegando a la comunidad latina o comunidades de inmigrantes de otras partes. Por esa razón, seguimos luchando, seguimos peleando por ustedes, no vamos a dejar esto caer. Todos estamos en nuestros juntos, somos seres humanos. Tenga la gente indocumentado, ciudadano, niños, adultos, ancianos, todos tenemos derechos y créame que si hay servicios y recursos, los vamos a encontrar, se los vamos a poner en la página, sigan llamando, sigan ayudándose. Muchísimas gracias a todos.